You know,
attended it.
it was a custom board.
Well, I'm
Those
upping my outboard this year, my boat this year. I'm going up to a 75 from a
not
50,
what?
25% increase in horsepower.
Oh wow, a
I
big
might need it to,
a big jump.
yeah, I know. I might need the extra power for sightseers when the tall ships come in.
What make?
Daihatsu, same as my 50.
75 is a nice range.
Well, this is on the low end of the 75, 90, 115 motor. The 50 was the mid-range of the 40, 50, 60 series.
How's that work?
Well, they just bore out the pistons.
And what does that create? More
Oh,
horsepower?
yeah, but you have three engines running off the same block. It depends on what pistons they put in there. If you get 40 horse, 50 horse, or 60 horse. 60 horse would have the thinnest outer walls.
Didn't know that.
So I tend to go for the mid range. And in this case, the 75 will be the long range.
I just remember the 75. Everybody back in the 60s and 70s had 75 horse.
I know.
Everybody.
I,
Evan Roots.
so the only thing we can afford.
Well, you went out in the ocean then, were you?
Oh, yeah. The worst day I saw of my boat is my older brothers and sisters got in the boat and towed my brother Jimmy behind it as a water skier. And honestly, I could row faster than they were moving.
That's true.
They put a bad strain on that engine. Try to tell them that, not to do it, but they wouldn't listen.
We used to water ski all the way around, see who could stay on the longest.
Yeah, now we have the e-foil guys to do that.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's really neat.
Good evening, everybody. I'm having trouble with my video again.
Hello.
Hey,
I
Pat,
like the picture you had up a few minutes ago.
I know it was working fine, and then now it isn't. I'm not
Get a
sure
bigger
what's going
hammer.
on. It's, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, it's
No
sending me a
picture.
message saying that my Zoom is not responding.
Reboot.
Uh, okay, give me 3 minutes. I'm going to restart.
go ahead.
I'll be right back.
That was nice, Gene, giving him permission.
Well, I'm trying to work as a team, and Gene's right on board with that.
Did I say no comment? Joe, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I,
Trying to figure out what happened. I lost all my connections here, Facebook and everything.
who did you did,
Yeah.
Robbie?
No, I'm not connected to his system. I'm gonna bring up my.
You lost it.
Yeah, somehow when I got on Zoom, it killed all my other feeds. They'll try to get back in. Facebook is no fun. Yeah.
For anyone who just joined, we're just waiting for the chair of the board to rejoin the meeting. He was having some video problems.
Joe,
Yeah.
I was just thinking that where Bob Cusack lives up in North Conway, he's right below Cathedral Ledge.
Doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
And if you go up there, and if you, I had been up there to see, you'd know what I'm talking about. It's a mountain climber's paradise.
Oh, I don't like getting above 100 feet. I'm a
Yeah.
lowlands person.
I'm with you.
Went out to Carson City once in Nevada. I couldn't breathe.
Flatlander.
I know. And we talked to a waitress in a place we were eating at. She said her husband was in the Navy and they moved up there when he retired. And for the first year, he had to drink a gallon of water almost an hour just to get his system acclimated.
Sorry for the delay.
Oh, there you are, beautiful.
Here I am, yes.
Go and move.
It's a good thing I logged in about 15 minutes early, so I knew everything was going to be all right.
Here, I thought I was a minute late. So
Ah,
thank you.
nope,
Thanks
can't
for
beat me
delaying.
on this one. Okay, good evening. It is 6:36 on February 4th. Welcome to the Nahant Board of Selectmen meeting. And I hereby call this meeting to order. We'll start with opening comments. Anything, Gene or Patrick?
No, nothing here.
I think I can save discussion for the discussion. So
Sounds good. Okay. Almost sounds ominous, Patrick.
no, nothing. Not tonight. Wait, what's on the agenda?
All right. Well, we're here mostly for announcements, so it's okay. The winter parking ban is in effect until March 20th from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. No vehicles can be parked on the street during that time. If you need a winter parking pass, please contact the Nahant Police Department. If the town issues a snowstorm parking ban, that information will be announced via our Code Red system, social media, the town website, and when available, the electronic message board. We have town election nomination papers are being accepted. Nomination papers for town election are now available in the clerk's office. Last day to obtain papers is March 4th, 2026. Papers are due back to the clerk by March 6th, 2026. For a full list of open seats, visit the town election page at nahant.org. Annual Town Census. The 2026 Annual Town Census has been mailed to residents. Resident parking stickers will not be approved without completed census. For more info, contact the town clerk. Annual dog licenses. Dog licenses are due back to the town clerk by April 1st, 2026. Any licenses submitted after April 1st will be charged a $20 late fee. The Charles Kelly Scholarship. Scholarships applications are due by April 10th, 2026. Visit the scholarship page at nahant.org for how to apply. The town election is Saturday, April 25th, 2026. Election polling hours will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Nahant Town Hall. For more information on the election, visit the town election page at nahant.org or contact the town clerk. We have, under new business, a vote to approve 2 event requests. First is beach cleanup, and I will make a motion that I move the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the event request for the annual swim spring beaches cleanup on April Sunday, April 12th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
For discussion, we have volunteers and organizers will meet at the Lowlands parking lot and disperse to Doggy Beach and Short Beach to begin cleanup. Bags will be provided, and we strongly suggest you bring gloves. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
And Rob Tibbo, aye. Next, we have a road race. And I'll move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the road race for the second annual Good Hope Running and Walking 5K on Saturday, June 27th, 2026, beginning at 9 a.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
As discussion, we have organizers and participants will meet at the Veterans Park at Lowlands Race. At Lowlands, race will start on Nahant Road. Can you hear me?
We can
Yep.
hear you, but your video is frozen.
All right, as long as you can hear me, we'll leave it at that. The route map is the same as last year and is the same route as the annual YMCA 5K. The route map will be available on the community calendar. I'm sorry.
We can still hear you, Rob.
Okay, community calendar. More information on how to register will be available soon and will also be on the community calendar. Let's see. Any other discussion?
There
Hearing none.
are some organizers of the race on here if they would like to have any input.
Oh, very good.
Mhm.
Yes, I see Stevani.
Yes, hi. Thank you for having me here. Firstly, thank you for letting us do the race last year. It was awesome, and we were able to raise $20,000 and dig a well in Africa. Once again, we are super, super excited to host it in Nahant to connect with people and businesses and make this event great again. I'm here if you have any questions.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Bob, I know you've been involved in this.
Yeah, so I think hopefully everybody got my email of support as well. You know, as I mentioned, this Good Hope is affiliated with Calvary Christian Church, where Linda and I attend, and they were looking for a new home for what will actually be the 9th annual Good Hope race. And obviously, Nahant is a wonderful place, right? I'll be back before you soon with the Humpernickel Road Race, but. It's a great cause, right? It's beyond what we typically do. And, you know, there was some concerns about the parking, so happy to address those as if you've ever been to a road race, you know, most of the runners leave pretty quickly. And then, you know, but there will be an after party, so we'll make sure we move the cars from the lowlands over to the life-saving station parking lot.
Okay. Anything further? All right then. Roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
And Rob Tibbo, aye. There had been a third item for the Cultural Council, and we were notified recently that they are rescheduling their date, so we will bring this up again, I'm sure, in the very near future. Takes us to ongoing business, and Allison, what do we have here?
So the one thing that I've put on the agenda for discussion is the Rights of Way Committee that was established by the Board of Selectmen. I want to say it might be a few years ago now. And as far as I know, they've never convened to meet. So I wanted to discuss it here, and I wanted to read. I pulled up the enacting language for the committee and what their charge originally was. So I just wanted to read that to the board and then have a discussion on whether I should have the committee come together and start to look at these things, if the charge should change or anything else that the board wants to consider. So the original charge when the committee was established, it has a mission of overseeing the process and progress of activating and publishing town-owned rights of ways throughout Nahant. The committee shall work in conjunction with the town administrator to, including but not limited to, establish a plan on how to identify rights of way to the public, document legal possession, recovered town rights of ways that have been encroached upon, and all items related thereto. And then the committee shall report to the Board of Selectmen through the town administrator and submit a written report for publishing in the annual town report. The committee is to consist of a member appointed by the planning board, a member appointed by the open space committee, and a member appointed by the town administrator. So the 3 members that were appointed to the committee from the planning board, it was Catherine Casey Carey. From open space, it was Paula Devereaux. And then Tony, as town administrator at the time, appointed Julie Tarmy. So again, I just wanted to put this on the agenda for discussion, see what you thought. There is some leftover CPC funding for rights of ways project that has a balance of about $25,000 in it that, you know, we could use for whatever effort we decide to do, but I wanted to see what the board's thoughts were.
So have these 3 individuals been contacted in the past?
Not recently. I'm sure they were contacted when the committee was first formed. However, I did attend a planning board meeting a few weeks ago, and the planning board member brought this up saying, I think I'm on a committee that's supposed to look at rights of ways. After that planning board meeting, I immediately emailed her and said, yes, I was actually, you know, individuals have been questioning me about it. My understanding is the committee's never met. And here's the other people that are on it. And I didn't hear back. So that's why I'm coming to the board and just seeing if it's something that you want me, you know, to pursue and getting the group together and what they should be looking at.
So should we, I'm sorry, you may have answered this, Allison.
Mhm.
Have you talked to all 3 of the appointed?
I have not, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Should we check to make sure they're still interested in doing it?
Sure, that could be a good first step.
Okay. And certainly we gave them a 3-year term, so we've still got some room. I see we voted this in on December 4th, 2024.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be the first steps, and maybe, and I hate to put another item on your calendar, but maybe they could have a quick meeting with you to
Yep.
talk about next steps in this respect.
Sure.
If they see what they have for thoughts.
Yep, I can do that. And then you want me to bring that back to the board?
Yeah, yeah, obviously it's 2-part question, obviously. And if one or another are not interested in doing this, then obviously we have to make a new appointment. And then
Right.
One way or the other, then we will have that conversation you will have that conversation with them as far as moving to the next steps, and then we can talk about it more here.
Sure. So I also know if, you know, one of the charges was to have a report that would be printed in the annual report. For the annual report, for this past year, the submissions, we have to have it all done by next month. So I'm assuming that the committee's not going to meet and make recommendations that can be printed in a report for this year. So that will give them, you know, some time to work if they're all interested in continuing to do it.
Yeah, and maybe they could just write up a quick description of what they plan to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
This originally was charged to the planning board to proceed with the investigations of how this should be handled legally. Might want to take a look at some of the past planning board minutes or files.
Okay.
Well, it might provide some relief to research everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
I know. I just for myself, when I was, I think, shortly before or shortly after I was elected to the select board or board of selectmen, I got some question on the rights of way, some pedestrian rights of way, and I did ask Tony about this, and he did let me know that the committee hadn't met yet, and so I did want to have some just get an understanding of the thinking behind from Eugene and Rob because it was they were appointed or the committee was formed before I was on the board, so I just was curious to hear what the focus areas were and see if we could get them going again, and also be realistic about what they could do with their with a short time and short money.
Yeah, I suspect that some of this was related. There was a considerable amount of discussion regarding a right of way in Little Nahant, maybe a couple of them in Little Nahant that had been encroached upon, and we were thinking about how we would go about trying, well, what the next step what might be as far as how to address that. And I think we're probably going to find similar rights of way have been pushed out to some degree. So, yeah, that as my memory, Patrick,
Okay.
was just that we were kind of initially we had this discussion about Little Nahant, and then we expanded it out, saying maybe we ought to take a look at this.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of historical, shore access paths and um, cut throughs between neighborhoods that are still on some maps and on others. And I know when I did talk to Tony about this back in May or June, and yeah, there was some work done on this. So I wonder if there's any a paper trail on some of the title searches that have been performed that we could just kind of at least hand off to the committee.
There's definitely a paper trail.
Well, there's probably a 200 years of paper trail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I think within the last couple of years.
Right. No, I think that's what Tony was indicating that there had been some preliminary work done on that, and specifically on some of the ones in Little Nahant and uh some some of those paths seemed more, and there was work I think on work done collaboratively with the homeowners on some of those paths, and some seemed a little bit more would be involved to try to
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah, so I can dig a little bit into planning board meeting minutes. I'm not going to be able to go through 200 years of documentation, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, I don't, from when I was on the planning board, I don't recall, I mean, there was a gap between when I was on the planning board and the select board, so, but I don't recall we had extensive discussions on this, but the timing would be when I wasn't on the planning board, so.
Okay. And then I also have access, obviously, to all of Tony's files, so I can kind of check out to see if there's anything, there.
Great.
Is more recent.
That'd be good.
Okay.
All right. Kind of gives you something to work with. Not
Yeah.
not a lot of definition, but okay, good. And we then move to your report, Allison.
Yeah, so the one thing under here, I was going to give an update on my CPC applications, but before I do that, we haven't met since the town had that large snowstorm. And so I do just publicly on a Board of Selectmen meeting want to thank the DPW, Zach Taylor, fire and police and emergency management. I think they all handled that storm really, really well. It was a lot of work. And I just, publicly want to say thank you to them. I've said thank you to them individually too, but I think they deserve some praise for that hard work that they did.
Certainly do.
I have to agree with you, Allison, and quite honestly, I find it so impressive that we've had so many mild winters back to back. I think the last time we really got hit was maybe back in 2015, and boy, it's everybody just pulls together for the big storm, and it's very impressive, really. when you think about it, because we get several years where we don't have to worry about it, and then we get slammed, and boy, they were right there, all of them.
Well, I am hoping that's the only one. So
Only one a year.
I think
No,
we got enough snow for the whole winter.
I don't think we budget for 2 storms, do we?
Oh,
It was apparently a top 10 storm, so it
a
was a
lot
big
of
one.
snow.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that first.
That's
So
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I did want to say, and I may have spoken about this before, but I formally submitted 3 CPC applications for funding. The CPC started meeting again. The application submissions were due January 30th. So they started meeting this past Monday. So I just wanted to say the first one that all of the applications that I did are for continuation of projects. So it's to request additional funding for projects that are kind of already in motion. So the first one, I requested an additional $30,000 to pay an outstanding invoice due to MAPC for their work that they did a few years ago on developing the town's open space master plan. So when I started as interim town administrator back in the summer, MAPC contacted me with this outstanding invoice from 2 years ago asking if the town had paid it. I looked in our accounting records, it had not been paid, and I had never seen it. Unfortunately, at town meeting this past May, the CPC clawed back the funding that was left from this project because they had spoken with, members who had worked on the project, and they said, oh yeah, it's, the report's all done, but the invoice never got paid. So I spoke to Lynn Spencer. She advised me to put in another application, and that's what this application is for. So it's more of an administrative cleanup item. The second application I put in was for an additional $40,000 for the town hall ADA handicap ramp access. This is also a project that has received several rounds of funding from the CPC. I've been in conversations with Lynn Spencer and Richard Smith, the architect that has worked on the library and other town hall projects. He's drawn up a design for the project, and he's asked some local contractors for just to quote it, and the quotes have come in higher than available CPC funding. So this additional funding should allow us to actually do the project and get it done. I know it's something that the CPC wants to see move forward because the other funding has been outstanding for a while now. And then the last application I put in is for additional funding for the Little League field lighting. So this again was something that was funded by the CPC through town meeting last year. We also received a donation from the Little League, and we received a state earmark. So the town went ahead and we purchased all of the equipment, and then Zach went out and requested quotes for installation costs, and those came in much higher than expected. So this additional funding will cover the installation costs and get that project, off the table. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on those. The CPC application for that outstanding invoice and for the town hall ramp are being heard at the CPC meeting next Monday. And then the Little League lighting one, the CPC is going to hear on February 23rd. And I've asked Zach Taylor to attend because he's the one that got the quotes for the work. And I also asked a representative of the Little League to attend because they were the original applicants.
Okay.
So, exciting.
Yeah.
The other thing I just wanted to announce publicly, and I had a press release done about it, was that on January 22nd, I received a letter from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities that Nahant is now officially in compliance with the 3A MBTA law. That's why we had our special town meeting on in November to pass the bylaw to be in compliance with this state requirement. And so I received an official letter saying that, yes, it's recognized that, we're now in compliance. We're still waiting to hear from the Attorney General's office on the language that we put in our draft bylaw. We should be hearing, I would assume, by the end of the month. I think they have 90 days to get back to you. Dan might correct me if I'm wrong, 60 or 90 days?
Yeah, that's right. I spoke to Nicole at the MA conference, and I forwarded her the letter that we got that you just mentioned. So I jumped down the line.
Okay. But I do, I want to make it clear that, this was a lot of work on the planning board and done by the Board of Selectmen and obviously everyone that participated in town meeting. And one of the questions through the whole process was, oh, well, what if we don't comply, with this state law, or what if it gets repealed? And I do want to make it known that the Attorney General filed a lawsuit against the 9 non-compliant communities a week ago. So there are real implications for not, being in compliance with this law. And I'm really glad that the town was able to come together and be able to figure this out before the deadline of December 31st.
I have to say, Allison, it was really nice reading that article and seeing those now 9 cities and towns, and Nahant wasn't on that list, and that felt really good.
Yeah, I mean, we have close neighbors that are on the
Yeah.
list. So.
Yes, we do.
Feel bad for our neighbors, but feel good that we avoided that situation.
Yeah,
Yep.
we really planning board really came up with a wonderful process for putting this together, and I am so grateful for the people of Nahant supported it. I think we really dodged a bullet on this, and we can now be focusing on much bigger things.
Yep. So the next thing I just wanted to mention is that I've bumped up our meeting from the 3rd Wednesday. We would usually meet on the 18th of this month. I've bumped that up to meet next week instead, the 11th, where I'll be presenting FY27 budget and a draft of the town meeting warrant. So I wanted to give everybody a heads up on that. Right now, I'm planning on presenting 2 versions of a budget. One I'm calling a level services budget, which is simply just contractually obligated increases and really nothing else, as well as an estimated increase in health insurance premium costs. And then I'm presenting another one that is based on an operating override for the town. I've asked each department to submit their budget requests. I've had meetings with every department head, and there are certain departments that have stated they have dire personnel needs. So they've put that into their budget request, and I've taken that into consideration in preparing the second scenario budget. So I plan to have that all ready for the board by next Wednesday. I'm still working on a few things. I've been working feverishly on this over the past 2 weeks, ever since I met with the department heads. So it's been a lot of work, but I will get it for you.
Appreciate that, Allison. And as we talked about recently, even the override budget really doesn't fully address the needs of the town. It's just giving a little bit more as far as what the departments need. Is that fair to say?
Correct. So there are 2 departments that came in with larger personnel requests. But then I've also incorporated, we conducted a market study that Clifton Larson did for the town about a year ago. A lot of our administrative positions that are not under contract are well below the market rate for salary. So I'm proposing to increase those salaries up to market. It's very hard to recruit and to retain here in town. So I think that that's an important thing to include too. Other than that, the budget based on an override does not include any other large increases.
Okay.
But I'll be sure to be, I'm now trying to think about how I'm going to be presenting this to everybody in the clearest manner possible. So
Yeah. It involves a lot of math, so it's
there's a lot of math. Yeah.
there's a lot of math there. Yeah.
Spreadsheets.
Yep. So it'll be a long discussion next week, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to that.
And
anything-
that's all I had for
That's all you got?
my report. Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That brings us to citizens' comment. Do we have anyone who would like to share a concern with us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name
iPhone
is
7?
Carrie Collins, 22 Breezeal Terrace, and I was at the meeting of the CPC on Monday, listening to their their the things that people are asking for, and my concern really is hearing about the budget. I just know it's bad, and I can hear it's bad. And the one thing that just pops into my mind, and I asked there about the Little League lighting. So they have money, they bought equipment, and now they're asking another, I think it was $70,000 for this installation of the new lighting. And what I'm concerned about is it just sounds like we kind of got locked into having to do this to, and a few other of these things, like this is the second or third installment, so we're getting locked into having to do it. But who pays for the electricity once we have it installed? What I've read is that the Little League usually pays for installation, maintenance, and electricity for the local fields, or they have some agreements with our schools or municipalities. So do we have agreements for like who's going to pay for this lighting? I also am kind of a little concerned about the amount of lighting in this neighborhood because honestly, we have the school, which is lit. We have Flash Road, which is lit. We have the tennis courts, which I think is newly lit for more time now. We also have 12 new homes going up, which are going to be lit. So I'm just, again, like, I'm kind of been following the budget for a while, and I just want this to be addressed when you're thinking about projects that cost the entire community money. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carrie.
I mean, do you know if there is a agreement with the school in Little League or with the town in Little League? Because that sounds like a group that makes money and they charge people. So why I would like to see, our community preservation be more for, the cemetery gates are falling, the arch, which, I know is a big deal. And I like to see stuff like that happen. So the lighting for one of the many baseball fields we have, I just don't think should be a priority if we don't have some kind of agreement. Thank you.
All right, Carrie. Thank you. That's all good concerns. Anyone else?
Yes, I did forget. I wanted to just bring up on this meeting too that the town's case against Northeastern was heard on Monday at the Supreme Judicial Court. And again, I think we've spoken about this on meetings before, where it was taken up by under direct appellate review. And under that, the Supreme Judicial Court had asked both parties to submit amicus briefs. There were 16 organizations that submitted briefs on behalf of the town of Nahant or in support of the town. So I thought that that was very positive. And I think, you know, the hearing on Monday was basically the town had 15 minutes to speak and state its case, and then Northeastern had 15 minutes, and now it's under review by the justices. But I think that we seem to fare well in the proceeding on Monday.
My overall perception is that the justices were very well prepared. They seemed to be very familiar with the case. I felt that they asked very good questions of both Nahant and Northeastern to test our resolve in our presentation, and so I look at the outcome of that hearing as being fair, and fair and objective, and we can just keep our fingers crossed. Anything else?
If nobody else is gonna have another question, I'm gonna ask a question because I'm really I've been following the Northeastern thing for a long time too, and you know, fingers crossed. Does that mean fingers crossed that I guess I'm a little confused about where we are. Like, is this like if we win this case, we now forward march to eminent domain to purchase this piece of land?
That would be the next step, yes.
So is that something that I know it's been brought up a lot, but is that something you ask the town to borrow money for to pay for it?
I am not aware of any effort to have the town pay for it. My
How
understanding
do
is,
Well, just we have already voted on that, so we already have a $1.5 million.
oh, right,
Borrowing through CPC.
Right.
yeah,
And,
from
and-
CPC,
yeah, and
Yeah.
additional monies from donations.
yeah.
Can I speak again? I'm sorry, but I'm really curious about the Northeastern thing because I'm really feeling this like huge connection between all of the things that I'm hearing about our level service, you know, the level services, the override needed, people need fairer wages, and CPC is not getting the funding they used to, like, you know, years ago. We're at 40%. So, if you don't raise the money, is it something the selectmen are going to ask of us?
Can Dan,
Yeah,
is there anything you could,
well, the first thing is this is active litigation. I wouldn't really be getting into a lot of this.
right,
Still involved. A lot of moving pieces at this point, so we're not even at that. I don't know this name, but not even near that spot yet. Still have to wait, you know, at least 2 months, I say, for the SJC decision, and then we got to react to that. So, questions that she good ones.
I really don't buy into the whole we're not there yet, you guys. This has been years of fighting for this, and you're not at where you're gonna pay for it when our budget is messed up, when we have people in our town hall not being paid for what they deserve. I mean, come on, you guys. Like, start thinking about it. And I don't want to sound angry, but I am getting angry because honestly, I'm not a young woman anymore. I want Nahant to be a place where my retirement isn't through the roof, where I can live a comfortable life like you guys have, the selectmen have for years. You really need to think about it. And I don't want to have to struggle. For 10
Okay, Carrie,
years, we've been avoiding this topic.
Carrie,
And
Carrie, this is not an agenda item, and we're entering into a debate here.
I'm the only one speaking, you guys.
Yep, and we do appreciate your concerns, and you know what? We can certainly try to get you better answers. I've heard many different approaches as far as how we're going to handle the purchase of the land, if that
Well,
should
I
come to
would
pass.
assume you put it on an agenda and start listing them
Yeah.
because there is a huge amount of people who don't believe you have any answers.
Okay, and I appreciate that information, Carrie, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second,
Seconded.
roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Pat O'Reilly, aye.
And Rob Tibbo, aye. Thank you very much.
Go Pats.
And good night. Go Pats. Yes.
See you next week.
Right.
Good night, gentlemen.